My name is Gunther Ball. I live at 5016 U Street, Washougal. I hope you'll let me speak for a couple of minutes. I'll cut it short. I'm in favor of what the council did, and I believe I have a lot of background to speak to this. I've lived 58 years in Washougal, so I've been around quite a while. I'm an immigrant, not an illegal immigrant. I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States 58 years ago. That process started after the war when our family was bombed out, lost everything, and my dad found out, we lived in West Germany after the war, my dad found out there was a procedure where we might qualify, and I say might, qualify to come here to Australia or South America or Canada. And so he followed this up, and it took over 5 years in order to work through all the things. They did a background check on us. They did a background check on our health. We had a number of physicals, shots, and all those things. So it took 5 years plus to come over. Plus we had to have people here in the Washougal area to sponsor us. That was the Washougal Ministerial Association. We had somebody where we could live in their home, shared their home for over 2 weeks and so on. They fixed a job up for my dad. He was a machinist, but he had to start out on the bottom of the rung in the Camas paper mill. So I want to cut it short from there, but my feeling is I feel very, very strong that there are hundreds of thousands of people living all around the world that are separated by an ocean, that can't walk across the border, crawl under a ditch, come in whichever way they come. They're illegals. They're not immigrants. They're illegals. And we've got hundreds of thousands of people all around the world that are trying to meet the requirements that the United States set up to get people in here that are not drug addicts, that don't have a criminal record, all those things to go through. But when we allow people to come across the border that don't have any paperwork, they'll show up to come here. My feeling is as soon as you catch them, you be diplomatic about talking to them, you give them all the human rights, but if they prove to have enough papers, to send them back as soon as possible in the cheapest way. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Jason Covington. I am out of Vancouver, specifically 11716 Northeast 49th Street. Immigration is quite possibly the greatest challenge facing us today. It's at best a thorny issue. We've seen this. Over the past 25 years, the federal government has either ignored the issue or made ham-handed half attempts at addressing it. They've dropped the ball. We, the American people, have three choices before us. We can thrust our heads in the sand, hope the problem goes away. We can embrace an enforcement-only policy and deport everyone without papers, or we can realize the system is broken and move to fix it. Each of these options has their draw. One allows us to pretend nothing's wrong. Two hedges chances of re-election. And one gives us the moral high ground. The immigration system, as it stands today, is broken, unjust, unfair, serves the needs of no one, is mired in the geopolitics and economic realities of the Reagan era, and desperately, desperately needs an overhaul. This overhaul will not be easy. Nobody said it would be. Great Depression wasn't easy. America made it through it. World War II wasn't easy. America made it through it. Civil rights movements of the 60s and 70s weren't easy. America made it through them. And without a doubt, America was better for that. Fixing a broken immigration system will take courage, moral fiber, and self-sacrifice. Each and every one of those great events took, and probably more. America can do this, just as she's done so many other things. But first, she must find her moral compass. City Council of Washougal can help in that. This council can take a stand for what is good, moral, and right. This council can take a stand for justice, fairness, and a better America. The council can overturn and repudiate its previous resolution and pass a new one calling for comprehensive immigration reform, as outlined in your handouts. This will benefit the immigrant and the non-immigrant. It will benefit labor and management. It will be good for business, farms, stores, shops, the economy as a whole. It will be good for America. My thanks.
Thank you.
Mayor, do you mind if I speak?
Depends on which side of the issue you're on.
I'm on the side that you voted on. I just need a couple minutes.
At that point, we've already gone through 3, and I've gone 1 over the number that I said that I would allow. So if you do have comments, though, we could certainly give them to the city clerk, and they'll be made part of the record.
Okay.
Do we have any other items to come forward to the council this evening? Mrs. Terrell.
May I speak on the sovereignty of our nation?
If we could let Mrs. Terrell have the mic for a moment.
My name is Marilyn Terrell. I live at 950 G Street, actually in Washougal. I am an immigrant to the United States, and I know what it takes for a person who is connected well and has sufficient money to get in here. It took me 3 months, married to a U.S. Retired naval officer. I think that there is a general ignorance about the process of immigration, and I just want to inform those who are here about that. Once a person gets across the border and gets a green card, which is not easy, the Bush administration saw it to somebody's benefit to take access to the department away from the general public. In other words, you may live here in Vancouver, Washington, etc., but you have to go to Seattle to apply. You cannot go up one day, apply, and get your immigration status going. You have to go again, and maybe again, and maybe again. If you are a very low-income person, each individual must go. So that means you have to drag the wife, the children, 3 hours at least up to Seattle, do whatever it takes, and then drag that whole bunch back the same day or pay for a motel, which you can't do because it costs a lot of money. Your immigration fees have been raised from $400 to $750 per person. This puts citizenship in a very difficult distance from people who are earning minimum wage. The other side of this coin, again, is Chris Gregoire says that we need these people here to work. I'm reading in the Columbian that there's fruit rotting or going to rot on the trees